What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in a building with another banger. Now, first things first, before we go ahead and get started today, I gotta say thank God for another day and another opportunity. Now, as y'all can see from the looks of the title and the screen, today I'm going to be bringing y'all a very special video. Now, I'm going to be showing y'all my dream NBA 2K24 small forward build, and it's actually to come out on NBA 2K23 to a 3-level score, but this is going to be my Slim Reaper build. Now, when it comes down to 2K24, the hype has been all about pro play being introduced. Now, what that means is that this is going to make a drastic change, not only to the level of gameplay, but the creation of our builds. And today, I'm going to be making a template of what you should be looking to make when you're going after a Kevin Durant build in NBA 2K24. So my goal today is to get as close as possible to creating a Kevin Durant build. And when it comes down to NBA 2K24, going into the next game, you're going to know exactly what you need to do to create exactly just that. So look, before we get any further, if it's your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be a part of the Rich family, and last but definitely not least, comment down TG for thank God King Jesus and where you're tuning in from, and I most definitely will be sure to get back to y'all with the response. So first, let's go ahead and get started by putting this build under the small forward position. Now, as far as when it comes down to the body weight, the wingspan, as well as our height, that's going to play the biggest difference with any build moving forward. So go ahead and put the height today to 6'10" to be closest to Kevin Durant. As for the weight, I decided to go with 200 pounds exactly. And then for the wingspan, I'm going to go with 7'1". Now, as for the body shape, I'm going to go ahead and pick compact, and from here, we should be able to move forward with this build. Now, do keep in mind, this is the NBA 2K23 builder, and I'm just giving y'all a template and what you should be looking forward to and expecting when creating a Kevin Durant build on the new game. So as far as when it comes down to the physicals, something that I'm going to go ahead and try to aim after is at least being a little bit more balanced when it comes down to the speed and acceleration. So some numbers that I would chase after are going to be a 78 speed with a 79 acceleration. As for when it comes down to the vertical, I decided to go ahead and put this to a 75. Now in 2K24, the threshold may be different to get pro contact dunks, but for this one, this is what I'm going to be going with because that's going to allow me to unlock those animations. As for the stamina, you definitely want to be sure that you work around this, but I'm going to go ahead and put this at least up to an 82. Now, these numbers are adjustable, but I'm just trying to go ahead and give y'all an idea of what you should be expecting when it comes down to a Kevin Durant build. Now, moving on to the strength, I'm going to go ahead and put this to a 49, and we're just about set to move forward into the other 4 categories. Now, for the stamina, I think this is going to be a key area, because if you want to, you can go ahead and readjust the numbers at the end of the build creation. I'm going to leave this number as is, but as for the vertical, this is definitely crucial, and the speed and acceleration are really something that I think will match Kevin Durant. So as far as when it comes down to the finishing, go ahead and put that close shot up to a 76. Now, Kevin Durant definitely has some nice inside game when it comes down to scoring. As for the layup, I'm going to go with an 82. And then finally, when it comes down to the driving dunk, I'm going to go with an 86. Now right there, moving on to the standing dunk, put this to a 67. And we're going to be able to get 17 total badges. And with this build, we will be able to unlock contact dunks, which is why I did go with a 75 vertical. But something that I'm really happy about is that we're able to replicate exactly how Kevin Durant would be playing when it comes down to the finishing side of the ball. Now, the badges may be completely different in NBA 2K24, but this is what we're able to unlock with these attributes and numbers. Now, moving on to when it comes down to the shooting, we all know that Kevin Durant is a lights out deep 3-point shooter. So go ahead and put that mid-range shot and the 3-pointer at least up to an 89 for the 3-point. As for when it comes down to the midi, I'm going to go with an 83. And right there, as you can see, we're going to be able to get a good amount of badges, and if you want to, you definitely can readjust any of these numbers to your own liking. Now, if you do decide to go ahead and raise some for badge purposes, I can definitely understand, but as far as being all around, I think these numbers are going to be perfect. Now, as far as when it comes down to the free throw, I'm going to go with the 70. Now, when it comes down to 2K24, like I mentioned, the badges may be different. And something that Mike Wang did mention is that the badges are actually not going to have any effect when it comes down to shooting percentages in the new game. As far as when it comes down to the rest of the ratings, I think this is going to be a huge W, because now we can solely rely on being able to create builds and take them straight into the park, not worried about making or missing shots in the rec as well as the park due to the lack of badges. Now let's go ahead and wrap everything up when it comes down to the playmaking. So as for the pass accuracy, we all do know that Kevin Durant is an amazing passer. As for when it comes down to this area, I'm going to go with an 82. For the ball handle, I'm going to go with an 80. Now this number definitely would be higher if we were not creating Kevin Durant in a 2K game. As for when it comes down to the speed with ball, I'm going to go with the 72. And right there we get a total of 20 badges. Now I think these numbers are perfect and line up exactly with the likeness of Kevin Durant. You're pretty much able to do everything on all three levels when it comes down to the finishing, shooting, and playmaking, especially when it comes down to the badges that we will be able to unlock. I think this is something that we should be expecting in the new 2K as well. Now for a Season 1 build, I think we're off to a pretty good start if the build is going to be looking anything like this on the new game. As for when it comes down to the defensive end, I'm going to go ahead and put my interior up to a 74. As for when it comes down to the perimeter defense, I'm going to go with the 79. Moving on to when it comes down to our steal, I'm going to go with the 71. And then as for that block, I'm going to put this all the way up to an 88. Now as for the rebounding on this build, go with the 72 for the defensive. And that's pretty much going to give us an idea of what this build is going to be looking like. And I think this is the route that I would definitely go when creating a Slim Reaper Kevin Durant build in NBA 2K24. Now you can definitely see that on the defensive end, we're going to be able to grab some boards, play inside defense at an elite level, also guard any position 1 through the 5. The playmaking, I'm pretty happy with all of these numbers. We are really well balanced. We're going to be able to dribble and share the ball. As for the shooting, you're definitely going to be able to be a threat anywhere on the floor. And the finishing really just completes this build as a whole to go with some pretty nice numbers when it comes down to the physicals. So for these badges, we do get the slashing. We're also going to be able to unlock the shot creating, sharpshooting, and then the rim protecting. Now, of course, going into the new 2K, these may change and be different, but I'm telling y'all, if you get anything like this, I think the best ones to go with to be exactly like Kevin Durant. The first one that I'm going to pick will be ankle breaking shots, or you can even go ahead and pick negative impact. The second one, I would definitely go with finishing moves, or you could go ahead and say that limitless range is more important. In my opinion, what's a huge bonus is going to be paint intimidation. But from here, I would definitely go ahead and say, to be the best overall when it comes down to the offensive end, go ahead and pick finishing moves. Now we get the contact dunks at an elite level for sure. You're able to dribble, ISO, shoot from deep, be a threat on the outside, and then when it comes down to the defensive end, you're going to be able to guard any position at the highest level that you can possibly defend. So let's go ahead and check out the build to make sure that we made it correctly together. And if you followed along, we should be able to get these three comparisons. And as y'all can see, we were able to create the one and only 3-level score Kevin Durant Slim Reaper build. And I really do believe that this is going to be one of the best templates moving forward to make this build in NBA 2K24. Now let me know down below your thoughts and opinion on this build creation. Is this something that you're looking to get out of a small forward in the new game on NBA 2K24? I really do believe that with Pro Play being added into 2K, this is going to make a huge advancement, but also when it comes down to the uniqueness of play. Now before we get out of here, if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be a part of the Rich family, and last but definitely not least, comment down TG for thank God and where you're tuning in from, and I most definitely will be sure to get back to y'all with the response. And with all that being said though, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.